gentlemen, just to abide by the second of our posted time, it is 6 o'clock p.m. Today is Monday, May 2nd, 2022. I now call this San Juan Economic Development Corporation meeting to order. First item on the agenda is our Pledge of Allegiance. All rise, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Continue with our next item on the agenda is our roll call. I'll begin with my far right. Commissioner Villegas.
Commissioner Villegas.
Pedro Contreras. Arturo Guajardo Jr.
Commissioner Neto Guajardo. And Santos. Juan Candelario Flores.
Juan Cabrera, legal counsel.
Menacona.
Very good, thank you, and welcome everybody in the audience as well. Our next item is number 4, public comments. Do we have anybody registered for public comments today, Ms. Martha? Nobody registered for public comments, then we'll move on to item number 5, our director's report.
Yes, Mr. Board, Chairman of the Board members. I don't have a whole lot, just a couple of items here, and then the others will be an executive session. But the first one that we have is the TML Region 12, which is going to be taking place May the 12th, 2022, which is through May the 13th. It'll be the Courtyard Marriott, South Padre Island. If you guys are interested in attending, let us know so that we can make the proper accommodation with Martha. And I think the flyers are within your packet. It's an interesting one. I don't have the agenda yet.
The agenda,
Yeah, it's there. I'm sorry.
you think of the agendas in the
Yeah,
packet?
it's there in the packet. So if there's anything that interests you, that may be of interest, let us know so that we can sign you up as soon as we can.
Okay, anything else?
The next item is on the ribbon cutting, Café del Rod. We've been trying to get a hold of these gentlemen. I know that it was a couple of weeks ago that he reached out to us about doing a ribbon cutting. Apparently there was a death in the family, so that he's going to postpone it. So we don't know as of this point when the ribbon cutting is going to be taking place. It's a good place, good coffee as well. So just so you know, it'll be coming. Item number 3, we had a ribbon cutting with Rudinsky Coffee and Sandwiches. It's a deli place. It's up in Nolana on that, right across Delia's Tamales. There's a nice plaza. There's a couple of them. The next one is almost ready to be open. This one is pretty much all the little locales that are there are pretty much already taken. The coffee place it's like a nice coffee place, like the big ones like the Starbucks. They got pretty much all different kinds of coffees, nice pastries, good sandwiches, pretty much anything that you can find to feel a good time in that place to go and eat with the family. Very well attended. So we had at the ribbon cutting. That's pretty much what I got. The other ones, like I said, it's at the executive session. There's some future projects that I like to discuss, but that'll be an executive session.
Okay. Anything else, Mr. Arjona?
No, sir, that's all I have.
For the record, Commissioner Nikki Barra has joined us. Welcome, ma'am.
And Martha Patterson, it's here with us.
Yes, this is Martha Patterson. Next item on the agenda is item 6.1, discussion and possible action, if any, on sponsorship promotional for the 10th annual Boots and Bling Gala sponsored by the RGB Literacy to be held on October the 7th, 2022.
So, Mr. Chairman, that it's running in your packet as well. I want to say that we sponsored this event last year.
No, it was the previous year.
The previous, not last year, before COVID. So it's here before you all. It's on October the 7th. Obviously, we can make a decision now. We can wait a couple of months from now. But it's here before you. October.
In the past, you provided us with our budget
breakdown?
showing us, yeah, so is it on there? I always have a hard time finding it.
It's on the second page, first page.
Yes.
Mr. Contreras has it there. So this is our balance right now. So what are we gonna do? Are we gonna move some money to try to cover, we've got several sponsorships on here today.
Right. And just so you know, this is October 7th. Our fiscal year kicks in October 1st. So we can make a decision now, but we can always put it at the next fiscal year to be covered under the fiscal year.
I suggest something like that, I mean,
Yeah.
to wait on that one until our new budget?
If y'all wanna feel comfortable approving it or see what kind of sponsors you want. And you're saying regardless, it won't be out of this budget.
Right, we can encumber it for next fiscal year's monies.
Yes, sir, Mr. Contreras.
So my concern is the same you just raised. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, just in this agenda that I can count on. 4, and according to the ongoing budget here, we yearly sponsor 1, 2, 3, 4, or at least this past year, 5. So, I can foresee us, and I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but I can foresee us considering sponsoring these the following year. And then we're gonna add on another one, and then we still have 3 more. Is 10,000 gonna be enough to cover the 5, 9, 10 possible sponsorships?
Well, at this year's rate, it won't cover it next year, so we'll have to take that into consideration in next budget preparation. But right now, what we got before us are this one right now, so what do we wanna do? We wanna wait till October? We'll take them one at a time, but at least we got the numbers right in front of us, right? So I think I heard Commissioner Villegas say that we should probably wait till the next budget year? Is that what you said, Mr. Villegas?
I went with the contingency that if the board wishes to approve it, and then they allocate what we need to do at that time.
It'll be for the monies for next fiscal year.
Correct.
So we can probably take action on the last meeting of September maybe and make it, or take it now and make it.
Right, we can make a motion at this point,
Future budget?
Correct.
and we can put those monies for the next fiscal year.
Okay, so it'll give us more
Those are the wishes of the
more
board.
room for
Whatever
the
you guys
sponsors.
wanna do?
If I may, Mr. President, I did some looking into at least this one. Is there a representative from the RTV Literacy Council here, or center?
No.
No? What I noticed and what I read was that they pretty much provide what Region 1 has, the GED classes and adult classes to further their high school GED education. I was wondering, aside from what's already offered at other entities, what else do they offer? But,
Well, if you'd like, we could table it and invite a representative over for next meeting.
Yeah, let's do that.
Have we,
Like that?
that's perfect.
Okay,
Have we given to them before?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay.
So I got a motion to table?
Motion to.
Yeah,
Motion.
second.
And a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Meeting will be tabled, this item will be tabled for the next meeting. Our next item is item 6.2, discussion and possible action, if any, on sponsorship promotional for 2022 Palms Rio Grande Valley High School Theater Awards to be held on May 15th, 2022. Do we have representatives on behalf of
Palms, no.
Palms Rio Grande Valley High School?
Both of us are here. How are you?
You got the floor?
So the Palm Awards, what the Palm Awards is, you all sponsored it back in 2019. The Palm Awards was created back in 2017 by 2 retired high school theater teachers, one being his father, Gilbert Zapella, and the second being the late Michael Alves. They looked around and LA had it, and Houston had it, and all these big cities had it, and they said, why not us? Why not the Rio Grande Valley? So they partnered with McAllen Performing Arts Center and created an awards show. And the awards show, what it is, all these judges go out to all these different high schools, and it started in Hidalgo County, and now it's spread from La Jolla to Brownsville, this entire Rio Grande Valley. Over 30 high schools participate, and we do an awards show at the end of the year in May, celebrate the kids to love and foster the arts in the Rio Grande Valley. We also give out scholarships as well. It is a red carpet event. If you think of the Tony Award, you see everyone on the red carpet or the Oscars, it's the same thing. The students go out, it is a big deal. The students, they usually buy a prom dress and they buy a Palms dress, and that is what they look forward to. It's usually a sold out event, 1,800 teachers sold out. We've given out $10,000 in scholarships the last few years. Obviously last year we were tabled, there was no Palms because there was no performances, there was no theater going on. 2020, we had to go online. We had to pivot and do an online awards show. And we got partnerships and got people with NBC Universal. They partnered with us and they provided their cast in New Amsterdam, and they gave awards and gave little mentorships to our students. Also, people from The Walking Dead, people from The Office, people from all these different TV shows. Cristela Alonso sent a recorded message, so did David Barrera, PSJ alum. The late Michael Escamilla also did a recorded message for us as well. So we brought back all these people from the Rio Grande Valley and said, hey, you can do this too. You know, to our students, give them some encouragement, give them some sort of spark, like, hey, you can do this. It's not just far-fetched. This year, David Barrera, who was a PSJ graduate back in 1988 or 87, he is actually going to come down to this year for us. So he's going to be a host. He is excited about it. I talked to him yesterday, and so it's a big event. It's a pretty big show.
So, is this like a 501c3?
It is a 501c3. It is a nonprofit.
And what is the money used for other than 10,000 in scholarships?
We also use it for production for the show as well. City of McAllen can eat a big chunk of it, but there are small production costs that are left over at the end. But the majority of this does go to scholarships.
The City of McAllen eats a big chunk of it.
Because it's a big production. There's lighting and sound and.
Oh, so you're paying the City of McAllen for the location, for the facility and all that?
They eat the majority of it. Say the show costs about $40,000, they do about $30,000 in production.
So there is a show involved?
There is a show involved, yes, and it is,
Real nice.
yeah, it's a big event, it's a big to-do. Anything you can think of, elevated, you know, it is a big show. We have partnered this year, Network has helped us partner with Warner Brothers. Thank you, sir. They are sending over recorded messages from Gloria Estefan and from Andy Garcia, presenting awards and wishing the kids well. We're also partnering with NBC Universal, cast from the show New Amsterdam. We're recording messages as well. And we have a surprise that Jimmy Smits will open the show for us. He's going to send in something and start the show with Hey Palm Awards. You know, we're back. You know, after 2 years of not being on the stage, we're finally back. The students who performed the last Palms, they were freshmen, now they're seniors. It's been that long since they've been able to be on the stage. And so they're pretty excited about it. It's a pretty big deal. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty excited because my daughter's nominated as well. She's a PSJ North student. She was nominated for Little Shop of Horrors.
Great actress.
Yes.
I got to see her.
Yeah, she's going to U of H. Yeah, that's where she's gonna go on and pursue. PSJ has 33 of the 152 nominations. PSJ ISD, everywhere from Southwest, PSJ High School, PSJ North, all of them are nominated in the category.
And you have to give a shout out to PSJ North, going to state, right?
Yes, they're going to the next state. That's where we're going on Friday. But PSJ State with Zoot Suit. Actually, Diego Herrera was in Zoot Suit when the San Diego Repertory Theater. So yeah, it's a pretty full circle here.
Good.
Yeah.
Board, any questions, comments?
Mr. President, the only question was just to make sure I understood. The money donated on behalf of the EDC, if we get to that, will be used for what again?
Majority scholarships and also the cost of the show, whatever is incurred at the end. But the majority of it does go to scholarships.
Well, you know what money we got? We got 4 other years. What are you guys?
You know, I wanted to point that out because it's unfortunate. I guess we didn't, if I may, further, we didn't foresee as many people interested in these kind of donations, and obviously for next year, the fiscal budget, we're definitely going to take everyone more into consideration, given the fact that we've been doing okay with 10,000, and now we're down to 1,450 left.
Can we make this work? Excuse me, sorry. Can we make this work depending on what we're looking at and most of these are viable.
Still
most
move
of
some
these
money
are-
around, right?
So,
Yes, we can.
Can we do a budget amendment to maybe, push the board, because all these are viable that we want to partake in.
Right.
Lowering it down maybe each one.
So what we can do as well is we can actually do a commitment, and then whenever the money does get moved around, we can go ahead and do a fulfillment at that time. One thing with this partnership, with this scholarship or donation of $1,500, you also get to present the student the award directly. So you would walk on stage and say, on behalf of the San Juan EDC, you know, give a little something, you know, and you read the name, they come up, you hand them the award, and then you walk off. At the end, you can take a picture at the end with them, and you can use it for your social media or for branding or any marketing purposes.
When is the actual event?
May 15th, next Sunday. May 15th. 7 p.m. And the red carpet is the red carpet. They get all bedded up and they walk on the red carpet.
Nice. The event's also shown on Somerset Live 5.3 on a later day, so.
If I may say that the online presentation got over 20,000 views.
Wow.
Yeah.
We do the 15th at the.
on the motion.
I'd like to make a motion for the 15.
We've got a motion and a second for a $1,500 donation to this group. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Hold on, wait, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
We're going 15, but we have 14, 15.
But that's why the discussion, he's gonna have to move some money.
We'll do budget adjustment.
That's why I was asking. Oh, yes.
We won't be able to cut the check until the monies are moved around, okay, so.
Yeah.
But it's on the record for that.
And Mr. Garza was okay with that commitment,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes. The only thing now you guys can do is fight over the tickets. So you all, and who gets to present on stage, you know, so we can do that. Anyways, just joking, you all are welcome to come join us. Yeah,
We'll have an arm wrestle contest.
Yeah, arm wrestle.
We'll figure it out. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it.
So again, we've got the motion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Chairman, and we can, because it's already been approved, we can always cut the check and do the budget adjustment at the next meeting.
Okay, very good.
Mr. President, I think that might be the situation in some of
For all of us, yeah. That's gonna be the scenario for the rest of us. We're okay. Counselor, we're okay, right?
Yes, sir, as long as you document in the minutes,
Very
so you give them authority to do that.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is item 6.3, discussion and possible action, if any, on sponsorship promotional for Rick El Torito Luna, first place champion for 86 golden gloves for his next competition year. This item was tabled the last time. So right now, before we get into it, I'll entertain a motion to remove this item from the table. There's a motion and a second, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries, so now we can discuss this item. Are you El Torito?
Yes, sir.
Who taught you how to box?
Coach Mojarro?
Which one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Coach Martin Mora,
Martin Mora.
Super for boxing.
Very nice. How old are you?
12, sir.
You're 12, and you're gonna go box at a national competition next? Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Where is that gonna be?
In June.
And where?
I'm not sure about
You're not sure yet, but it's coming up already.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight on May 28th.
On May the 28th.
Yeah, the Wolf Pack. And Holly View Boys and Girls Club Center.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna put that down here, May the 28th. I'm running, we'll see.
So when he came over asking for that donation, he gave us a little presentation on what the guy, and I'm saying guy because he's not a little kid no more, what he can actually do, so I don't even want to do a little show here as far as showing. Don't get me afraid of you.
It's fine.
All right. Look at that. Yeah.
I wanna hang
We did just watching you, man.
And how's the coach feeling?
Oh, I'm doing all right.
All right.
That's pretty awesome. What did you guys have before you here?
Right, not any problem.
Anything to consider? What are you guys thinking? I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
So, where do you train again?
Super for boxing.
Where is that at?
Behind Big Daddy's Burgers.
Okay.
That's here in Edinburgh, right? North of
Right
Edinburgh.
there.
Still farm.
Okay. And where do you live?
Alberta Road,
In what city though? San Juan?
Edinburgh.
In Edinburgh. Okay, it's north of here. But you won the competition that was held here in San Juan, right?
Yes,
The one that the PAL sponsored.
Actually, he's an Austin Middle School student.
Oh, you go to Austin Middle School.
Yes, sir.
He's chasing coach, but
That's why he's taking that credit. Yeah. What are the wishes of the board? There's really no amount here to be considered, but whatever the wishes of the board.
Is there a specific amount of boxing?
No.
what did we give it
It's
last
gonna
time?
be helpful.
We given them before? Yeah, to the box. I think we get the 300.
300 the last time, right?
We get 300 right there.
It was 300 the last time.
Motion to approve 300 for a year.
I'll second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve a $300 donation to Rick El Torito, right? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations.
Good luck.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, to you.
Thank you all. I really appreciate the donation. presentation. Whoever participated in it, I think
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck to you. And you can get with this office and they'll get you a check with our help for you, okay?
Ricky, if I may, Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
one more thing I'd like to ask from you. Gentleman behind you over there, Mr. Ojardo, he's in the PAL, he's in charge of the Parks and Rec. And hopefully we get a boxing ring. Can you come and show us some of your moves there and teach some of the kids that like to be boxers as well?
Of course, sir, yeah.
That'd be great if you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, buddy. Good luck to you. Good to meet you.
Thank you so much.
That was a bug.
Thank you. I'm sorry, we'll also tomorrow.
Thank you, Ms. Martha.
I thought about it, Martha.
Archie used to be a boxer.
At HEB, I used to box all the food. Different type of boxing. Different type of boxing, but I was the best at it.
Can you show us, you want to give us a little demonstration?
Get the box cutter out.
Next item is 6.4. This is a discussion and possible action on downtown revitalization. As you all recall, we instructed our director to leave this item on the agenda until we basically complete that project. The last thing we did on this was that meeting that we had together with the city, so things are moving along. I don't think there's anything for us to consider at this point to take any action on. So, unless you guys have anything to mention about it? If not, we'll move on
The
to-
information we received is very instrumental, so it's like, I'm hoping that comes to fruition.
Right, so, no, that's not that item.
Item 4.
We're on item 4 right now.
But I guess he's right, for
Not yet,
discussion,
not yet.
I think we were all there, so I think we're pretty pertinent we're all on the same page and same vision.
We gave them a directive, basically, right,
Correct.
to go ahead and get started with that Project Genesis.
Correct.
They're gonna come back to us with a plan, and of course, it's gonna be subject to our approval together with the city, and then we'll take it on a phase-by-phase basis and identify funding and whatever else we need to do. Right. But I don't think there's any action we need to take on this item today. That was just kind of a little update, and we'll keep it on the agenda and keep it alive. So then, with that said, we'll move on to the next item, which is 6.5, discussion and possible action on downtown revitalization project Genesis payment number 1. Now, this one requires action. So you have before you an invoice from ERO Architects. I had expected them to be here today to do a presentation. Brian said they weren't quite ready. So with that said, I'd ask for you guys to table this item until the next meeting so that he can have an opportunity to come present to us and explain to us what this is all about. You good with that?
Yeah, sure. Well,
It's gonna be on top of that, it's gonna be the flyers and more than anything, what the looks is going to look like.
okay, so we'll have all that.
Yes.
Okay.
So at this time, we'll just table it.
Make a motion to table.
We have a motion and a second to table this item. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
One question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. President, I recall Mr. Martinez recommending a kind of like a town hall meeting with the community members, at least one surrounding the area which is phase 1. Do we have a timeline on that, if that's still gonna happen?
That's what we can ask him when he comes. So that's why at this time, we're just gonna table it, and then he can come forward to us and give us all the details.
So we can discuss a little bit further more on the second item, on the next item.
Okay, very good. So, I think we already took a vote, right? Okay, so motion carries unanimously. Next item is 6.6, discussion and possible action on joint meeting with the City of San Juan City Commission to discuss downtown revitalization plan for May 17th of 2022.
I guess that goes hand in hand with the question.
Yes.
It's all together, they're all tied together, so.
I really wanna have that, that's why I was asking.
Right, so this is gonna continue to be a partnership with the city and be working real close with ERO, at least that's the way I envision it. And if we see them going off on a tangent that we do not want, then we, get them back on track. So the more meetings and the more discussions we have with them and together with the city, the more aligned we will be with our vision for this project.
Mr. President, but one of the things I want to point out, I want to make sure that the community at least gets noticed and invited, get the notice that we're inviting them to come participate, give us their input, share their ideas, and be aware of what's coming, because if it's going to require maybe closing of the street or maybe a delay in their daily life, at least I want them to know that, one, and also I want them to be part of this vision that we all have.
So I agree, and I think the rest of the
It's a
board.
matter of getting it out or just setting a date, right?
So, as you recall, the Genesis was gonna start on the north, at First and Second Street, and then it was moved. So because of that, there was another delay within the meeting. So that's why they wanna do this joint workshop again at the May 17th, and then after that, it'll be.
So that's what this item is.
So maybe after the 17th, when we all meet together, guys, the committee, after we meet on the 17th, y'all can put a plan of action to get the community
Right, once
involved.
they get the proper direction,
Okay.
and I'm saying proper because it's gonna be after the fact, they're gonna present you
So
a
that way we can
rendering,
meet one more time to discuss what we want and
and then
implement.
after that one's gonna be the town hall meeting.
Okay.
That is precisely what this is about. We've got another proposed meeting together, and at that meeting is where we can continue to give directives to the RO and whoever else is involved. This is what we want. We want town hall meeting, we want this, or whatever we want, right? That's the purpose of it.
And that's the plan. After this one, it'll be the town hall meeting.
Okay,
With the
right,
presentations.
but at this meeting is where we'll discuss the dates for the
Right.
town hall and how we want it handled and all
Right.
that, okay?
That's exactly, you have to remember.
So are we good with that date? Is everybody good with May the 17th to
Should we
propose
put a couple of
another
agenda
joint
items for
meeting?
that? Then it can't be a workshop.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to go ahead and
If you're
act
gonna vote on
on it.
dates, it can't be. a
We've got a
workshop.
motion by
That's
Mr.
okay, I can
Vegas,
work- I can
Mr. Juan,
work
a
it.
second, to go ahead and have another meeting on May the 17th, 2022, together with the city council. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Hey, Board Chair, I just want to clarify, because I'm going to work with them on the agenda item for this particular meeting next week, or the 17th, excuse me. If you look back at the past one, we got together, we opened the meetings, and we had that little very informal. When do you want to discuss the dates? Before or after we do that part of it? If we're going to discuss future dates for town halls and whatnot, do you want to have that discussion before we jump into the very informal time that we had where ERO presented? What do you
Right,
think?
well, what I was envisioning was, at that meeting, we can discuss with ERO, and let them propose to us. I think we'll be ready for a town hall on so-and-so day.
Okay.
We just wanted to make sure that we want that included.
Well, I agree with that. Well, you do want to make sure that when we're ready for the town hall, that we laid out what it's
Yes.
gonna, what it's gonna, we want the community to get involved. We want them to be excited and enthused about it as well.
That's why it's more important for them that we have that date.
Yes.
And then we actually acknowledge whether we're available or not.
Right.
Because we can say we're available, but we may
Yeah.
not be ready.
How about if, what I might recommend, just because, it's your all's reputation on the line, you want to do this right, maybe we talk about potential dates, but you have them come back to the first meeting in June to do a little dry run with you all on what they would present, how they would manage it. So you all can give them feedback on, okay, no, we don't want it like that, we want it like this, or, so you can see ERO present their framework before they do it in public, because otherwise you'll be seeing it for the first time as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
sounds
sounds
good.
good.
You're gonna anticipate questions at that point, right?
This is
Yes.
gonna be- We tabled this, so this will go to our next meeting. Bill for the first phase.
Will this be included as part of our short meeting?
I don't know. Well,
Well,
this
we table
invoice
it.
that we've got on it, will be part of that joint meeting?
If it's gonna be a workshop, then I don't know whether we
No,
can have an item.
just
to-
at our next meeting, no?
But it's gonna be on our next meeting. When is our next meeting, by the way?
17th.
The same day?
Yes.
That is our next meeting.
Yes, it is.
May the 17th.
So we're gonna
So we
discuss,
tabled this for May the 17th for our next meeting,
So we can open up a meeting for this particular item.
Okay,
and go
for
to
that
the
item.
workshop.
and then have the work.
Or the other way around, have the workshop and then go into the meeting.
we're gonna discuss Clayton during that meeting as well.
Absolutely. I mean, we're gonna have to discuss more money all the way along. We're gonna have to hold hands and let's do this together. Yeah, so it'll all be discussed
We
on
can
that
do another
day.
item.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fine.
For discuss
Yeah.
date.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any more questions? Okay. Anything else, Counselor, you'd like to add to that?
I just want to make sure that we'll give ERO plenty of notice, so they need to come with dates, proposed
Right.
dates
Let
and
them know what we're
timing and all
thinking,
that.
We're expecting from them. Okay, perfect. And our next item is 6-7, discussion and possible action on the San Juan Police Athletic League PAL on purchasing an 18-foot freestanding floor box ring from Cesar Liscano in the amount of $3,400.
discount.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have Cal Director with us, Ruben Guajardo, will explain us to what the $3,400 is going to, what this is gonna be for. So,
I got you a coach already, Mr. Waddle.
Yeah, and believe me when I say this, we weren't in cahoots to kind of get it started, and I fall in, but he did an excellent job. It's a good cause.
Warmed it up for you.
Yeah, exactly, I appreciate that. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for allowing me to be here today. EDC Board President Guajardo, Director Mr. Arjona, thank you all. Again, my name is Ruben Guajardo. I'm the Director of the San Juan Police Select League. But first of all, let me just start off today's conversation just with a big thank you to the board for sponsoring our 86th annual Golden Gloves Regional Championships that we had in February. It was an outstanding event. Just some quick information on it. We had over 60 bouts on a 3-day weekend, which was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I did see some of you individuals there, and we thank you for being there. But there was over 60 bouts, like I said. There was 120 boxers, okay, and from the Piaget area, like Little Torito here, also from the valley, and also from the entire state of Texas. So they came down to San Juan to visit, to be a part of the Golden Gloves, and actually there were some qualifiers. And like I said, I did not plan it, but Torito was there. He did very well, so he's going up to go box at the state championships. Now moving forward, I'd just like to thank you guys again for allowing us, or for being a title sponsor. You guys committed, and we had a tremendous turnout. We had over 600 spectators show up throughout the 3-day weekend, and they were all, the majority from out of town. We did have some locals who are big boxing fans, and would just stop and what's going on, and they'd come and view it. So I got to meet some individuals also who have history in our San Juan area that were involved at one time in their life with the boxing. And we could give you the information another time, but I was pleased to hear that back in the day, we had a San Juan boxing a gym, and we had several locals participate. So I want to say our board president was a member of that outfit back then. So I heard some great stories about not only the gentlemen who trained them, but also the kids and the teams that went by his organization. So
Ruben, you mentioned something about us being a title sponsor for that event. Do you remember what that level was? What the title sponsor was, like $2,500?
Yes, sir, exactly.
That was a level. And when you came to us, this event was taking place somewhere else in the past, and they were like looking for somebody to host it for, right?
Yes, sir.
And you jumped on it and said, well, San Juan will host it. And that's when this thing, that was 2 years ago?
Yeah, what happened is, it's the 86th annual.
Right.
So it's been going on for many years now. Due to COVID, 2 years ago, they were locked out. There was nothing going on. Arenas weren't open. So when the per se COVID was more or less in the middle of the pandemic type deal, it opened up a little bit. We had the Golden Gloves approach us about establishing an outdoor event. So we were new. PAL just got established. We sat with them. They gave us their idea, with the approval of our city commission and Mr. Arjona, our city manager. We got it made, and it was our first annual, 85th. This year was the 86th. It was our second annual helping them host. And
so is the plan for you to continue to sponsor this event?
Yes. Going back to that, they were, and I say the Golden Glove, which is Oscar Toad and his organization, and USA Boxing were very gracious to us in regards to helping us coordinate it and host it. And they said it from every year. We are, if you allow us to come back, we are more than happy to come back to the city, partner up again, and let's make it bigger and better every year.
So when you did it last time, you didn't have a ring, you had to probably rent one, right?
Exactly.
And now you're trying to buy one since you're going to be the host from now on.
Well, the reason why we're trying to purchase, and I'll just jump straight through it, but the reason we're trying to purchase this item is, our PAL organization, the San Juan PAL, is basically we're part of a national organization. We're a 501c3. We just got established in January of 2022. And I'll give you some brief information on that just to kind of bring you guys up to speed. But like I said, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that got awarded in 2022, in January. We have a 5-member police athletic league board, an executive director, an assistant director. And we do also have a representative from the city of San Juan Police Department that sits with us, okay? We are certified members of the National PAL, which is the national organization who oversees the police athletic leagues throughout the United States. Okay, now the sole purpose of PAL nationally and our San Juan PAL is basically to increase police and community relations. Okay, and this is to aid in preventing of juvenile crime and violence by providing mentorships, service, and athletic or educational programs. So our goal is to go out and like I said, if it's mentoring, if it's establishing, if it's fundraising, we're trying to make that connection between cops and kids, you know. And so, you know, come January of this year, we got approved. Pandemic is slowed down so much so we can move forward. Now, in regards to boxing, you know, National PAL and other PAL organizations in the state and throughout the U.S., boxing is a big part of their organization. You know, and you know, everybody has football, everybody has baseball, everybody has other educational programs too. But I think once you start going to a boxing, you start already looking into certain individual or at-risk individuals that that may qualify. You know, and it may be a low-income area, it may be an area of their cities that may be high in crime, and it's just a little easier for them to come in and show up. And if there's any fees involved, it's very minimal. But you can concentrate one-on-one with them and hopefully steer them away from that bad element.
No doubt it's a great organization what
Yeah.
they do. I know throughout the valley, there's several pals out there that do good work like that.
And actually, we're proud to say that there was another organization a few years back. Okay, they are not existing right now. So the closest PAL, Police Athletic League, to us in San Juan is in San Antonio.
FAR doesn't have it anymore?
No.
Okay,
Yeah, they don't have it anymore.
So one more question
Yes,
for
sir.
you. So you're gonna host this event again. When will that be? Do you know the dates, más o menos?
Dealing with Mr. Tovar, we are looking at probably February again of next year.
Around February?
Yeah, we're looking at the cooler time of the year.
The reason I'm asking that is because I just thought of something right now. Just as you mentioned that we were a title sponsor. Since I saw this item on the agenda, man, I didn't like it because we have to buy a boxing ring. But at the same time, I wanted to help them out. But I don't necessarily like buying a ring. My thoughts are that we donate the money that he needs to them. Consider us a title sponsor again for that amount for this next year's event, and let him buy the ring with his own money, which is just a donation that we're giving to them rather than us buying.
Either way would work out, correct?
Accomplish the same thing, I would think.
Well, legal, is that correct?
Yes, sir, we just have some, you know, I was looking at the item, we are not the type of entity that should own assets of that nature. I don't think it complies with our charter. What we're trying to do is an EDC, but certainly we can give donations for a title sponsorship and then they can own it, which would make sense because that's the business that they're in.
Correct.
Well, what ran through my mind, I have the same sentiment also about owning assets in this manner. But we can actually donate or actually get the sponsorship to where San Juan EDC is on this ring. Like, you know, I just saw that, you know, so we'd be actually the title sponsor, and I think that would be part of we're using it as an advertisement at the same time. You know, I think that would be kind of easier to sell, and then you do where you have to do it. Obviously, you want our name on that.
That's the way it would look, that's the way it would look right there.
Yeah, those are prototypes that we are considering doing.
That's advertising.
It's brand new?
It's a brand new inboxed ring.
You see, they already had done it, so I'm saying that we'll buy the advertisements title sponsor there.
Right.
You know, so you actually give us the idea already.
Yes, sir.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir, that's perfect.
So this, we would be covered for, going back on that, we'd be covered for the sponsor for this next
Oh,
one.
yeah, definitely. And our goal, again, going back to the boxing element, is we want to establish a San Juan boxing training facility, and maybe through the promotion of it, have locals, such as the people come in and register, we train them, and we start competing. As it is in one, just a starting point. Now, this ring is mobile per se.
Easier for us.
You can get up, and when we do have the event next year, we can set it up. Okay, and we could, once we get our facility, it'll be an everyday,
Again, I think what we're gonna consider is giving you a donation.
okay.
The rest is all up to you, where you do the ring, where you put it, how you move it, and all that.
Mr. President, if I may, Mr. Cabrera,
Yes, sir, Mr. Contreras.
since the item is read differently from my motion, I want to read my motion, voice my motion and see if it's okay with me.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make a motion to sponsor $3,400 to the PAL program on behalf of the EDC.
Second.
That,
Can I just interject a little bit?
Go ahead.
With the conditions that they have to purchase the,
Thank you.
Correct.
So what you could do, since that motion passed, you could amend the motion to add that to his motion, and then we'd be clear on the
I'd like
minutes.
to amend, Mr. Contreras.
well, we haven't voted on that.
Oh, yeah,
He
okay.
said-
I thought there was a first and a second.
It's just a
Hold on.
first.
Oh, so I thought I heard a second. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay.
Okay,
So I'd like to make a motion to sponsor $3,400 to the PAL program with the condition that they use this money to purchase the boxing ring.
Correct, second.
with your name.
With
your-
With our name on it. That's why I asked you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You just say,
Tell us what-
as presented in the package.
As presented in the package
That'd
with
be
our
perfect, yes,
EDC logo on the ring.
Second.
You got the motion and a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Juan.
Perfect.
Thank you all for your time. Next time, we're gonna wanna see you shadow box here.
I'd like to get our board president.
I'll look for some old photos.
Look for El Torito to go help you
Oh,
coach.
Yeah.
I was coming.
Well, again, thank you, board, we appreciate your time, okay?
Thank you very much.
Our next item is 6.8. Discussion and possible action, if any, on mini grant for AMP-LP services for $1,000. I think we've got Mr. Mario Cantu in the house.
Yeah, correction, it's a AMC.
Oh, it's AMC?
Yeah.
There's a typo. AMC.
Yeah. Well, I opened up, I lived here in San Juan 47 years, I've been working AP for 20 years. Decided to do, after the freeze in February last year, propane apparently was something needed, and talked to my boss, and I said, I'm gonna do this as a joke. Long story short, 6 months ago, I invested $26,000 into this whole equipment, and it's taken a big bite on me, but it's been worth it. I love what it is, what it's become. My future is to get a propane truck, so I can go to the areas, especially here in San Juan, locally. I picked up PSGISD, they are helping me, they come with me with whatever they need in propane. Also the city of San Juan. And advertising, has been something that's trying, because we're kind of in the rear in the location, and between Cesar Chavez and Stewart, it's 910, but it's in the rear, so a lot of times, people are passing by, and traffic on 83, they're going like 55, I think. So we put up a sign. I went with Javier Cavazos because I like the work he does. He is from San Juan. He actually did the through Waco Park, the dugouts, well, the city of San Juan park, the dugouts. He did the dugouts, and I loved his work, and I stuck with him. Whatever helps, whatever, it's a blessing for me, and I appreciate the ribbon cutting. Oh man, that helped me out so much on people getting out there and seeing us out there. So I want to thank City of San Juan, EDC, all you guys have been a blessing, make my job easier running that business.
And I'm sorry I missed that, brother. I was out of town, dude. But we had to move it a couple of times. I went there the first time. It went bad.
The rain, the cold, and this.
What's the amount that we're?
It's, well, the mini grant is for $1,000, as stated on the agenda. My next question to you, Mr. Arjona, we're good with that? We've got money in that line item, right? That's all.
Items within the items.
Okay.
Okay, so we're still at the full 10.
You're lucky, you're the first one that's gonna.
I know we said at the beginning, though, and then, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
And you filled out the application and did
Pretty much
everything you
everything,
need to do.
Second.
Very good. Got a motion and a second to help out AMC LP services.
And there's a couple of awards that we can actually grant with this, either 1,000 or 2,000, 1,000 being the non-tenant and 1,000, I mean, they
Yeah,
don't-
So in this case, he already bought the sign, is that the case?
But typically what we'd like to do is pay directly to the.
Or have you not bought the
If
sign?
the sign's up already,
So if it's
Yeah, I had
already
to-
up, we can reimburse them.
had to pay
Up to
Mr.
what?
Cavazos because it'd been pushed.
But you have an invoice of what you paid, right?
Yes, I have the invoice.
That's how,
I,
that's how we would
okay,
reimburse you for that
Right.
cost, okay?
yeah,
Do you know what that invoice was for?
1,982.
Oh, here's the invoice.
Here's the
right
invoice.
here.
Invoice there, $1,982.
That's for signing the piping or,
$9.82.
No, it's
So-
980.
yeah, 982, 1,982.
Just know that if
Okay,
it's
so-
a tenant, it's 1,000. If it's a non-tenant, it's 2,000.
And he is a non-tenant. Do you own or are you a tenant?
I'm writing there,
You're
the
renting,
property
okay,
will
so
go
it's a tenant, so that's the rule, that's why it's 1,000 max. Okay, that's why he applied for the 1,000. So we have the motion and the second? Any other questions? Any other comments or concerns? Okay, if not, I'll take a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Good luck to you, brother.
Thank you guys, I appreciate all you guys do.
Look, buddy.
Thank you, brother. The next item is 6.9, discussion and possible action, if any, on mini grant for Salinas Repairs, Inc. This one is for $2,000.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, come on up. Yeah, I always have a hard time following it.
No, well, I'm trying to take, the business from my dad. He's already become retired. He was in part for 15, 16 years, as a mechanic, his own shop, renting. I bought my house on 2018 on Minnesota between Cesar Chavez and Raul Longoria, and we put the business there. But since the hurricane, the sign that we had there flew. We're trying to put a new sign and bring new uniforms with my workers and cats and stuff like that.
So it's a mechanic shop?
Yeah, forklift mechanic.
Forklift mechanic. And what you're trying to do with the money is to buy a sign?
Yeah, put it back as a sign because of the hurricane, it flew away.
And, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I have here that Salinas Forklift Repairs looking plans to buy a new and updated computer. So is it the computer or the?
Well, it was the computer or the sign,
I guess when you're applying,
Did the application specify what you're putting on there? I don't see the application in front of me.
The application, what it states is that he's requesting for the non-tenant, which is a couple of $1,000. However, he does include the 2-year plan along with the computer and also the uniforms, the magnetic, the work trucks and uniform caps.
that all falls under that.
Not the sign?
It doesn't stipulate the sign. There's not a proposal here that we actually pay the person that actually builds the sign instead of the property owner. So that is not here. Now, did he go by UTRGV and take the class? He sure did that. But it's just that it's stating a computer along with some uniforms, some magnetic and the work truck, magnetic
So all of
signs.
those things qualify, basically?
Yes.
They do qualify, correct,
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
And it's a 2,000, right, because he's a tenant?
Right.
He is the owner,
The owner, okay, the owner.
non-tenant,
Gotcha.
right. And you will be running this business by yourself?
No, it's me and 3 other workers.
You and 3 other workers, but you're the owner?
Yeah, the owner already.
The owner.
Mr. President, I'm trying to picture your location is on Minnesota between.
Between Raul Longoria and Cesar Chavez, passing that new subdivision on the right.
So you go on Raul Longoria, you turn.
If you're going east, you towards Cesar Chavez, you pass the Trevino shops or something like that.
Yes.
And then there's like a new subdivision just in front of that.
And you're already there? operating?
Yeah.
And
we've
all
been-
the trailers are on the left-hand side, right?
That's Trevino.
Yes, Trevino.
Oh, okay, so you're
We're on,
across.
passing the church on the right now.
Oh, okay.
Further down,
Yeah.
with the new subdivision, the street starts
With
paving
these
out.
little grants, Mr. Arjona, are there any parameters in there, like say they close shop 6 months from now or something to that effect, or no?
And usually, what we have there, it stipulates that as long as they give us a couple of years of
Service.
the service a service, what we call is a plan that it qualifies. Business that closed within 6 months from the time the grant is awarded will not be eligible to reapply. It says that, and the other thing that it says, all reports must be submitted within 90 days of the contest award and or from application date. So,
So you're saying the business was in FAR and it's been.
Well, the business was established in 1999.
Okay, so.
It was, yeah, but my dad's already 68. Yeah, he's retired.
How did you find out about our mini grant?
My suegra,
Your suegra?
Rodriguez Screen Printing.
Rodriguez.
Maricruz Rodriguez.
Okay.
That's my suegra.
And how long have you been open there?
Huh?
How long have you been open?
On that building, going to 4 years right now.
Okay, so
it's been established.
yeah, you established. When it was in 2000?
2000.
The max, that's what.
That's the max.
I make a motion to approve.
Okay, I've got a motion here. Second, to approve the 2,000 to help this business.
So what it says here is on a reimbursable basis.
Right.
You understand, bring us the invoice so we can pay the invoices.
Yeah, so you can either do it like that or pay directly to the vendor.
To the vendor.
One way or the other. right?
Actually, it says that we need to pay directly to the vendor.
To the vendor. To the vendor. Okay. As long as you coordinate all that with him, bottom line is you're gonna get the help anyway. Okay. So we've got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried unanimously. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Next item is 610, discussion and possible action on EDC bylaws regarding how items are placed on the agenda. If you all will recall, last time we got into discussion, last time we had a meeting, Mr. Contreras, you asked about how we're putting, and the item was not on the agenda at the time, so I kind of felt a little uncomfortable elaborating on it. So I asked Mr. Arjona to go ahead and place it on the agenda. And what we found in the bylaws, they're not addressed, there wasn't addressed on how items would be placed on the agenda. So we talked to legal counsel and Mr. Arjona, and even though that this is the common practice used throughout the state, it wasn't the practice that is on our bylaws. It's a suggestion by myself, Mr. Arjona, and our legal counsel to consider that. You guys can say yes or no, change it, throw it out, stay as is, whatever you'd like, but at least we are discussing it in the correct fashion.
I'm gonna take a minute just to read this.
Go ahead.
This wasn't part of our packet.
No. But we got together just a while ago, we were discussing reviewing the agenda before the meeting, that's when that was
Who got together?
put together. Myself, Mr. Arjona, and Mr. Cabrera at the EDC. But to discuss all the agenda, which we're gonna try to make a common practice right before the meeting, by the way. whether
Yeah, it
it's
was
the day
help just to,
before Or that same day. So.
He's reading the court.
Future.
Oh, yeah.
Back to
What's different on this than what's been transpiring?
So today, that was kind of like just understood practice. It's not written in the bylaw. The bylaw does not say anything, it just says, it doesn't say anything on how to place an item on the agenda.
It doesn't at all?
It doesn't.
but
So
this
we
is
can
what,
either leave it
this is
like
what you've
that,
done, right?
Or adopt this and put it in there if we want.
Well, Mr. President, the one thing for sure that pops out here is agenda item request must be received at least 7 days before the next scheduled meeting. Now,
What do you think? Is that too long, too little, too much?
well, the reason why that pops out is because the last meeting, if I'm not mistaken, we all agreed that we can place items on the agenda, and the common practice we had before was as long as you approved them. And at that meeting, you said, I'm okay with any of you putting items on the agenda. I don't recall there being a timeline, but I can assure you, I don't remember ever having a 7-day before.
So again, the bylaw does not say that. It doesn't have a timeline, doesn't have anything. Doesn't even say whether I can approve it or not. It was just a practice. And by me approving, it
Wait,
wasn't.
hold on, can I just,
Yes, go
this
ahead.
is really on this point, Mr. Contreras, this is more administrative as a courtesy to these two individuals. They have to post by Friday, and I just, in practice of doing this, there's a lot of work to build the agenda, so the 7 days, by Tuesday or Wednesday, they need to know what they're doing, so they can take 2 days to put it together to post it. So this is more of an administrative courtesy. If there's something urgent, I guess you could try to make an exception to it, but as a courtesy to Martha and to Ben, Mr. Arjona and Ms. Patterson, you need that many days. 4 days is a legal posting, that's a Friday before the Tuesday, so that would just give them 2 more days
Common practice, he deals a lot with.
to put it
school
together.
boards. I deal with the county, we're just looking at how it happens, what would be a good number. That doesn't mean that it's not gonna make the agenda, that means it would get thrown to the next one.
Yeah, that's all that means.
That's all that means, because we didn't get it in time for this one, but it's still making it for the next one.
Although there's a circumstance that there's a possibility that we may have to put them in there for whatever reason, there's something that's.
There's an emergency, we could definitely consider get it done, it's just to establish some type of process.
Need be emergencies always on the table.
Right.
I like the fact that we have to request it and send it for request via email or by writing, because.
That establishes the.
I think that's great because I don't remember, you don't remember, or he remembers, don't remember, that actually puts everybody accountable, we'll know exactly what transpired.
Mr. Sanchez, I also think it saves a little bit of work, because if you do one of them, then they gotta call him, and then here, now there's 4 other communications. If it's just on one email, we got the record, and she can back it up for the agenda items. If somebody asks, how'd they get on the agenda?
We'll put it on.
Well, right here, they got it,
Every
it's all
single
there.
time, the email will be attached to the agenda.
I like it.
So are we up, so you wanna approve
So
this?
this is something for consideration right now,
Or are we gonna?
because we're discussing, or can we take action on this today, the way that's placed?
This is
I guess
possible
we could.
action, so
Yeah.
it's up to you.
So you can take action depending on the rest of the.
On this, or on a variation of it, or whatever,
Yeah.
and we'll add it to our bylaws.
So, but 2 board members have to send out the email? Because it says right here, 2 or more board members.
Well, so it would be, the practical matter would be, let's say that Mr. Sanchez wanted to do with Mr. Guajardo, one of them would email and blind copy, and carbon copy, not blind copy the other one. That considers 2 of them requesting it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because if Mr. Sanchez is copied on the email, Mr. Guajardo sends it, then that's 2.
Okay.
Right.
It's not 2 separate emails, it's one email with them
Well,
copied.
the 2 people, with the 2 people requesting.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you wanna put 3 on there, that's fine too.
2 or more.
Yeah, 2, yeah.
As long as there's an email, the property just goes with everything.
Yeah.
Right, like if you write an email, hey, Mr. Contreras and I want this placed on there, and when you copy him, that's acknowledging that he's.
Of course, with his blessing.
That's right.
And the benefit of copying Ms. Patterson and Mr. Arjona, again, administratively, they can start looking at, okay, we gotta work on this, what do we gotta get together for this? And if there's any issues with, for example, there's too much to get together, or it's, if there's gonna be an issue, then they can immediately call the board president or Mr. Arjona and say, you know what, we need more time for this, or yeah, this is no problem, but we gotta, because a lot of times, and they'll call me right away, there might be more backup they need to support that item on either side of the issue, depending on what the issue is that you bring forward. So that gives us time to be properly prepared for that agenda item on both sides, whatever you might need. And there might be times, if you know something that we might not know, you might say, I'd also like to see some backup this, or I want to see this to support the item, or can you give us some data on this topic? Let's say the item is about some, you want to request something to say, I want to see what we've done in the past on this item. Or can you give me the history on this particular, what's the data for this particular issue? And there might be something like, that would help us if you told us that. If you already had something in your head that you wanted to see, that would give us time to put it together.
Mr. Governor, if I may, further, what you just brought up reminded me of one of our last meetings when the item was in reference to the company that gathers data for our city and EDC. What's the name of the company?
Buxton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we were relying on memory to try and see what the city paid and what the EDC paid. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my recommendation was, if we actually had the agreement, we would have that information. Now I share this with you because these items, these have been on our previous agendas because we've had to kind of reschedule meetings. But most items that I have seen here, I may be mistaken, but I don't think you guys should spend 7 days piling up backup, because sometimes we're missing backup on those items. And it might be backup because they just don't know what we want, right, or what we look for. But do you take 7 days to put this together?
Well, hold on, let me be clear, before you answer the question, remember, it's not 7 days, go back to it's 3 days. 7 equals 3, because you're giving them the courtesy, you have to post by Friday at 5 or 4, so you wanna have them, they have to be posted, fully ready at 5 o'clock. So that take off 4 days from the Tuesday. So it's, you're giving them 3 days, so you're giving them really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for the work, that's the purpose of the 7. So it's not that, there's no work, once it's posted, it's posted.
Let me say this to you, Mr. Cabrera, we used to have agenda reviews, okay? And I remember sitting with Mr. Arjona a Tuesday before, a week before.
That's 7 days, yes.
Okay. The meeting wasn't, we were just working on the agenda for the following week. So I can tell you from my past experience.
Yeah, that's why we want the item that Tuesday, so we can do that from that Tuesday.
What I'm saying is the items work together that Tuesday, like you're saying, you're saying that by that Tuesday, all the items should be in their office so they can put it together, they have those 3 days.
So they can organize the agenda.
What I'm telling you is, we haven't done that, to my knowledge.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, right? And that's fine, I mean, it'd be great if we do have it, right, but we haven't been doing that. So that's my only concern is the 7 days, because I can foresee items pop up or something come up before. The actual agenda we don't receive it till Friday, right?
That's the posting day, yes.
Correct, that's when we receive the agenda, and sometimes that's when we actually find out what's gonna happen.
What we think is that establishing this process should help that. I think in itself, now, if you requested an item 7 days in advance, they better get some backup for you, for next time. Right now, we're kind of in the blind, because most of these items, we don't even know how they're getting placed. Many of them are just being placed by the director.
Is there a situation where
and we don't get to.
Where maybe, say, Mr. Sanchez needs to put something on, and it's a 6th or 5th day, still enough time, is there, do you all have in other words, it can still be done depending on, because Mr. Arjona says, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it has, you know what I'm saying?
There's not in the stone where there's gotta be exceptions, like for the example, we're gonna go through executive sessions, some things need to be immediate, and either we get last minute information, or of course, that's part of the exception of the rule. But this is just a gear and a to go by. I don't think the 7 days set in stone unless it's something that's pressing.
Yeah.
But even at that,
That's
7
exactly
days.
what I'm saying.
And I know Mayor's been with the commission before, but I actually prepared this stuff when I used to work in another city. And actually, that was like 7 days was awesome because it was a lot of work to get things done in our side. And of course, we had a team effort to compile this information. So, and I think the cutoff date for us was Monday before the Friday.
Yeah, you could actually say, you want the same thing here, maybe the 7th sounds bad when you see it. It's actually 3 business days before the posting
Correct, so
deadline.
it's not really that bad.
Yeah, 3 business, it's the same thing.
Like Mr. Arjona is knocking my head, I asked Mr. Arjona, there may be times where maybe the day, you know what, we can get it done. So that
I agree, but let me just say, these 2 are the resources you have at your disposal. I just think it's better to have something in there and you all just get used to working with it and it's gonna work, right? And of course, if there's all you have to do in the email, you can say, let's say it's 5 days for, Mr. President, I realize this is outside of the 5-day deadline, but this is urgent because, boom, boom, I request a waiver of the 7, something like that.
That's
and then you've just done it, and then he has to say, then you put it on the president to say no, and he's got to have a reason to say no. But I think that's a fair.
That's what I'm
fair.
If you don't get all the information that you need, I mean, the board president is going to come out and say, well, we don't have all the information. We'll leave it for probably the next week.
Yeah.
My recommendation, Mr. Rojallo, is to include that discussion here. Make sure that the way this is presented to also include what was just been discussed, is that items can be placed after the fact with the consideration. That's what was discussed right now. Just make sure it's in writing. So we won't get caught up later, well, that's not what we.
So how about if you, how about if we do this? How about if somebody makes a motion to include what I just said and I can bring it back for the next meeting. Including.
We could just take the action and then
reword
it.
And ask me, but in the motion, you've got to say that you're asking me to include this waiver for an emergency item.
Which way are you gonna do it?
The ability to waive.
I'll bring it back. We'll bring it back before, because this is gonna have to be, we're gonna amend the bylaw. This would amend the bylaw, so I'll bring it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're clear? Everybody clear? Any more discussion? I think it helps. Gives us a little bit of structure.
And it gives a little bit of structure, and we go back to what Mr. Gutierrez said, make sure that those kinks get ironed out before, we shouldn't go into, like Mr. Gutierrez says, like, we don't have a backup or anything like that.
Yeah.
Gives them ample time to get the
Right
backup.
now they're on the.
Versus
backup.
trying to get backup within 3 days and trying to work out 100 other things, you know, and I think 7 days will be the cutoff date, which is, we should practice that, and get used to it. Because you never know what, something like these projects may be pressing, we may come back and get them.
Emergency. Mr. Huddle, real quick. So, Mr. Correa, you just said to amend the bylaws, so I'd feel more comfortable like that, setting this procedure to reflect the bylaws. That way, it's not changed. Now we just follow the bylaws instead of having bylaws without any kind of process in place. Or are you just proposing this without putting it in the bylaws?
No, this
That's
is
right.
part of the bylaw.
This is part of the bylaws.
This would be, once you approve it,
The amendment to the bylaw.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he's gonna do a little bit of tweaking to reflect what you just mentioned a while ago about the way.
But can I have someone, I need a motion and a second and approval of the agenda item, of the draft that, you can say the draft that was submitted to, and then somebody needs to include that
include
other
the
language. Yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to make the motion? I'll make the motion to amend the bylaws in regards to the placing items on the agenda, the proposed write-up to be included in the amended bylaws, including the, what was the?
Waiver.
The waiver
Of time.
of time when required.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously.
Back to the future.
Item number 7, the San Juan Economic Development Corporation will convene an executive session in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Florida Statutes and Code Government Code Chapter 551.071. The time is now 7:08. Do I have a motion to
So
go into
moved.
executive session? Got a motion?
Second.
And a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are now in executive session at 7:08. Thank you. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The time is 7:39. We are now out of executive session. Do I have a motion to reconvene?
So moved.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And we are reconvened at 7:39. Do I have a motion to adjourn? There's no action needed, required to be taken out of the executive session items. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion, second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried unanimously. Meeting now adjourned.